When I went to France, I went to Paris. That was pretty cool. The French hate me. They hate me on sight. I have a lot of anxiety, so I tend to assume people hate me, but in this case, I'm pretty sure I was right. So I went with a friend. She's Mexican, but she's pretty white passing. So when we were in Europe, people assumed she was Spanish, which is a reasonable assumption. And if I was lucky, people would think I was Irish. As soon as I opened my mouth, people knew I was American, and everyone in Paris hated me. But people liked my friend because they thought she was European. And I saw this when we went to go get ice cream. My friend knew a little bit of French, so she was able to order. And she had a little bit of an accent with the French, but people thought she was Spanish and learning it, so everybody forgave her. So she walks up to order ice cream from this lady, and she gets her whatever the flavor was, and the lady's all like smiling at bonjour, and like asks her how her day is, and they have a little cute conversation, and like the lady gives her, and like my friend tries to like tips her, and the lady's like, oh no, you don't have to, like she's like, oh you cutie, like it was very much that kind of conversation. I couldn't understand a word of it, but she was all smiles. Then it came my turn, and I walked up and I said bonjour. And the woman said nothing. She just stared at me like this. There is no one in the world who has a resting bitch face like a Parisian. And I say this with the utmost respect and admiration. I wish I looked like that. I wish I could get to that level of I don't care about you and I will never care about you. That is what the face of this ice cream seller expressed to me in that moment. So I ordered my flavor. I said, chocolat. Apparently I pronounced it wrong. And the woman would not give me a break about it. Like I said, I don't think I'm entitled to a break when I travel places. But her pointed dislike of me was pretty hilarious. And you might be like, well, maybe you really were butchering the pronunciation. That's always possible. Maybe she just couldn't hear you. Maybe you weren't being loud enough. But then my friend walks up and she orders it. And the woman says, I'm like, okay. And I try to hand her, I hand her my coins. She hands me back my change. And she drops it on her counter. She doesn't even put it in my hands. She just dropped it on the counter. And honestly, there was something calming about. I loved Paris for a lot of reasons. One of which was, like I said, as a person with anxiety, I constantly assume everyone around me hates me. And also, as an introvert, I don't want anyone to talk to me. This is the one place in the world where I'm finally right about what people are thinking about me, and nobody wants to talk to me. It's great. Everything has aligned for me there. I also understand that I'm a disappointment when I walk into shops. Even when I try. So my grandmother taught me, because my grandmother went to Paris and before me, and she taught me that the respectful thing is you walk into a store and you say, if you're a lady, you say bonjour, bonjour. Like the little lilt at the end, you go up at the end. And if you're a guy, you walk in and say bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. You're supposed to go down. You're supposed to go down with it. So I would walk into stores and I would say bonjour. Very, very friendly, feeling very cute and well-traveled and European. And then I guess it would work. They would think that I knew French, because then they would try to talk to me in French. And establishment after establishment, I would have to disappoint these poor store owners and help them realize I don't know a lick of French. And this is one of the hugest gaps in the American education system, is thinking that the only language we should know is English. Just knowing English was enough for me to travel in these places, but it is not enough to really get to know a culture and really communicate with people and really feel welcome and safe in a place. Like, I was lucky all the times that I've gone to Paris, I was with someone who knew French. it's just crazy to me that we don't even attempt to learn other languages until high school, and then when we get there and try to learn it, it's like a joke. It's like I had a friend, he took 5 years of Spanish, or he took 5 levels of Spanish. He got to AP. He got college credit for this class. He gets to the end of it, and I'm like, well, what'd you learn? What do you know how to say in Spanish now? And he goes, "Tu es mi gato." Yo quiero Taco Bell. And I'm pretty sure that at this point in his life, he doesn't even remember that. So we need to start actually learning other languages at the age where our brains are situated to learn other languages. And that's an opinion that I am going to force on my children when I have them. They're going to learn a bunch of languages, and hopefully that serves them well in life. Probably. I can't see a downside. We'll see. And we'll see if I follow through on that. I imagine it's hard because I'd probably have to learn the language first. So, yeah. I just hope the school system figures out how to do it. God, I appreciate teachers. Should pay teachers more. I did this rant already. I was just like a constant disappointment to every French establishment we went into. One of the funniest things about Paris is like the restaurant experience. So when you walk in to a nicer restaurant, not even just like the street side cafes, you just walk in and take a seat, and then you just wait for a waiter to notice you. Can you imagine doing that? You like walk into a fucking TGI Fridays. Are they still around? I don't know. Oh, what's a restaurant in America? Yeah, you know one. I can't think of one right now. But you walk into like a restaurant, you just take a seat. Like you don't even wait for anybody to show you to one. It's just so weird to me. But you're supposed to walk in, you take your seat, you wait. Eventually, the waiter comes up to you, and they're just like, there's what do you fucking want? Is basically the attitude. You tell them, all right, you eat. It's delicious. You have plenty of time to sit there and eat. The waiters don't come up while you're like, and be like, how do you like your food? Do you like it? How we doing? How we doing tonight? Cause they don't give a shit. You just get to and it's more important to them for you to just sit and enjoy your food and have like a nice relaxing time. So you just get to sit there and enjoy your food. I love that. I love that. But then at the end of the meal is when the trouble comes, because your waiter does not come. They don't come. They're not trying to rush you out of the cafe or the restaurant or whatever. They don't come to take your check, take your payment. You're supposed to snap. I'm like, hell no. I'm not snapping for another human being's service. That is not a thing that I can make myself do. I'm just going to sit here until they close, or until the waiter sees me doing this desperate eye contact. I am never going to snap at another person. And so I spent a lot of time in restaurants and cafes, because it just feels wrong. I'm gonna sum up. What did I learn from these experiences abroad? I also spent quite a bit of time in Belarus. My boyfriend is Russian, so I got to go visit there and meet his family, which was an experience. And I'll probably talk about that next week. But what have I learned from all these experiences abroad? Well, like the old saying goes, when in Rome, tip well. Because that's the only thing they like about Americans. And if they think you're going to tip well, then they'll pretend that they like you a little bit. Thank you so much for joining me. This was Riley, your friend from Los Angeles. Next week, I will guide you through some more travel vlogs. I think that'll be fun. Because like I said, I spent some time in Belarus, and that is a special world all its own. If you don't know where Belarus is, like I did not before I went there, unfortunately. Again, another lapse in education. Geography. I don't know where any shit was when I graduated from high school. They just didn't bother with that. They're like, you're not gonna leave Arizona anyway. You're fine. Belarus is nestled between Poland and Russia. Right? I'm checking with my boyfriend to make sure I don't fuck this up. It's nestled between Poland and Russia, which is an awkward and historically relevant place to be nestled. So I'll make some jokes about that next week. So thank you so much for a wonderful Zoom chat, and I will see you next week. Goodbye.